So this is experiment number one. What we're doing today is taking a road trip in the BMW i3 with the range extender. And this road trip is going from Renton over the mountains to Mattawa. That means I've got hills, I've got flats, I've got curves, and I got no idea which charging stations I need to use. So we're about to find that out. So it's 150 miles total. The electric range of this i3 is in that 68 to 80 range when I'm in town. Of course, the moment you hit the freeway, you're not doing any regen, so it drops. Now you have an equal range in gas with the range extender. So what we're going to find out is how well that works. So far, I've traveled about 50 miles. In fact, I'm at mile marker 61 right now. I still have 30 miles of range electric and 39 gas. I've actually coded the car so I can turn on the range extender and turn it off whenever I like. So that's helping a lot. That gives me a little bit of an option, a little bit of play. Where I'm going, hopefully, is Cleellum. We know there's a coffee shop there that's got high-speed electric charging, and of course it's got gas stations. There's gas stations everywhere. And it's a nice place to race. So from here, I know that Cleellum is at mile marker 85. So I've got 25-ish miles to go and 39 miles of gas range. Let's see how close we get. Well, I've got to say we're doing really well as far as the mileage goes here, and fortunately the weather is looking really good too. I think I've got close to 10 miles or less to head up into Cleellum to charge and refuel. I can see my range, a little dark on the screen, but is more than that, so that we're in good shape. But we'll see how this goes. This is actually a nice experiment. And even better than that, I found out that I actually have saved some music onto the internal hard drive of the entertainment system. So when I'm turning this off, I'll be turning on ABBA. Everybody loves to road trip to ABBA. Well, there we go. So we are at Cleellum. I actually entered an exit early so I could hit the gas station first. We were down to 3/4 of a tank according to the gauge. I put in 1.8 gallons of gas, which took me about 4.5 seconds. And it says I got 90 miles of gas range left, so that's very interesting. Now I'm going to roll through town where I know there's a fast charger. We'll see if it's occupied or not on the other side of town. I am down to 34 miles of range, but that's slightly above 50% of actual battery.
Prepare to turn right.
So this will be interesting. My little map talking to me. So, okay, well now we got to figure out where we got to go here. So I'm hoping that I can see how quickly we can charge up, and maybe I can also get like a donut. Well, someone's on the fast charger. So the question is, do I wait or do I hit the next one? And I know the next one doesn't have donuts, but it does have tacos. That's all I'm going to be all the way to Ellensburg. I think I'm going to hit the next one. So I'm going to let these people go. And I've got 95 miles of gas range and 33 miles of electric. I'm just going to do it because we're actually going downhill from now on. We're up on the flat part. Everything up till here has been an uphill. So we're done to that uphill battle. Let's see how this goes. So the signpost said I've got 24 miles to go to Ellensburg. And we're still 93 miles of gas and 31 electric. Yeah, and here we go climbing up to Indian John Hill. This will be really interesting. I'm curious, by the way, on the BMW display, it does show a little white arrow there once you lock it for where you're holding your charge. I'm wondering if I can actually generate enough on the downhill section here to go past that little triangle. Let's see how much charge we get. And we're doing pretty good, actually. Still have 29 miles of electric, 81 on the gas. So the charging's keeping up. Indian John Hill hill didn't eat up. The gas doesn't quite keep up with the electric when you're climbing a big hill. That's just part of the design of the car, and that's fine. That's also why I coded it and used the hold state, because then I don't have to worry too much. Oh, and I see now I actually have 30 miles of range. So the guessometer for range is kind of going up and down depending. We're still on the flats here, but we just had a little downhill spit. Well, here we go. I just pulled off the freeway in Ellensburg. I just installed a new traffic circle. I'm very excited for traffic circles. I love roundabouts. I realize a lot of people don't. Roundabouts, I think, are fantastic for no other reason than fatalities drop like crazy because of roundabouts, because you don't go head-to-head with people. Of course, they get confusing, and people got to get used to them, but hey, change is good. And we should see... We'll see if my little GPS starts talking to me soon here. I see a Taco Bell. I think that's it. I'll take a look here. And let me... Oh, look at this. Look at this. Here we go. We are approaching Taco Bell. He's approaching the gas station. I'm good with gas. What do we got? Taco Bell. There's home of the Whopper. I want home of DC fast chargers. Let's see. Oop. Yes! Look at that! Look at that! Open DC fast charging.
Follow the arrow on the display. When leaving, turn right.
Glorious! Glorious! Okay, I'm going to park on the outside one here. See, yeah, look at that. Oh, look at that. There's a DC fast charger. Oh, it's so exciting. Okay. Yeah. And let's see if we can get this to work. Alright, so it's windy as heck out here, but we finally got this thing working. According to this, which is hard to read, I got 12 minutes left until I'm at 80%. It took me a little bit of a jumping around to figure this out, and this cable is just like a monster. So it makes all kinds of crazy noise. But hey, we are charging, and I'm going to go in and get a taco. Well, I'm back on the freeway. So the hardest part was getting a left turn out of the Taco Bell. Interestingly, now I've got 82 miles on gas. I use an eighth of a tank to get down here. And I got 64 miles. That's over 75% of charge. So it said I left with like 80, I think like 83% charge or something. And I can only run the gas range extender when I'm 75% and under. So actually I'm full electric right now. And I'm heading up towards the small hill before I drop down. So this is interesting here. Ryegrass is the name at the top of the hill. I'm going to wonder if I hit 75% charge before ryegrass or not, and whether I do need or don't need to use my charger for this section. There goes ryegrass. And honestly, a beautiful view of the windmills. Love the windmills out here. And a 4% grade going down. This will be exciting. Alright, windmills are renewable energy and beautiful kinetic sculpture. Or at least one of those is true. Here's where we are. I'm almost down to the Columbia River. So I've been cruising down this 4% grade here for a while. My range electric has gone up to 68 miles. So I'm at 76% charge again. I found that I got that in my menu. I can actually look it up like an idiot. Should have done that earlier. That's fine. So yeah, I'm charging up a heck of a lot actually going down this hill. I'm beyond the little point where I had turned on the range extender. So I'm just going to let it run for a little bit at this point here. There's no real... I'm about to dip down and then go up a little incline and down, so I'll be more or less even. But at this point, it's pretty easy to run just on the gas and kind of take the slack up with the battery when you're out in the middle here where there's nothing going on. Because I know there's no charging until I get back up into Ellensburg. So really, the battery charge I've got now is what I'm going to have. So I'm kind of in a preserve battery mode, and just use gas, because this thing's got a 2.5 gallon gas tank, and that's enough again for 80, 90 miles. Cool. All right, well, here we go. This is actually one of the nicer looking sections of this whole drive here. Really just a beautiful area. Funny bit, I actually don't need the advice on where to go, but by habit, I always turn my GPS on. Probably a weirdo of some sort. Oh yes, I know to turn right here. And here we go, up into the hills. Really beautiful areas out here. All right, and away we go. Well, I'm at the midpoint right now. We arrived over here in Eastern Washington. I did plug in the 110 charger. It's going to be pretty slow, so I'm not really going to wait around for it, but I figure if I can trickle charge a little in there, that's not too bad. Right now, since the last stop, it took about a half a tank of gas, so like a gallon of gas or so. It says I've got 54 miles of electric range. That's still right around the 3/4 mark. So it did a really good job downhill of actually holding the charge and even topping it up a little bit. So that was actually pretty interesting. I'm going to do my little work here, and then we're going to head back. I'll top off the gas and then just run right back up the hill again. We'll see. I think I don't really need to stop for the charge. That was kind of just more for fun. I think I can probably do the full thing by just getting gas in the middle. We'll find out how it is, and then maybe we'll see if I can do it a little bit faster on the return trip. Okay, so we're all done here. Heading back, so that'll be the second part of my road trip test. I just filled up with like 1.2 gallons of gas. So we're all full, 90 miles gas range, 56 on the electric. The charging actually did put a little bit in there, so that was, I guess, handy, even though it was not a heck of a lot, maybe a mile or two. That's fine. We're going to drive back and see how this works. Okay, and here we are. We're heading up the hill. I've been driving up the hill for a while. We're not quite up to the peak yet. Looking at my little triangle, I can see that the charger is not quite keeping up, but pretty good with what we're burning to go up the hill. Some ranges have dropped. I got 3/4. The wind is crazy again, but interestingly, I got 3/4 of kind of each side, and it says I've got 50 miles of range on one and 34 on the other. Really, fascinating how these kind of bounce up and down as we go. So we'll see. And I got 125 miles to go, so I'm definitely going to have to refuel with gas minimally. I'm going to see what we think about the recharging when they start leveling out and maybe going downhill a bit. But we can flip that around and take a look, and you can see that. There we go. The charging rates are just a little bit crazy. Oh, it's a little dark. Maybe we can't see it. That's okay. In any case, we are heading up. Oh, and here it again. Look at that. Love the windmills. All right, back in a bit. Are you listening to this wind? I mean, this is insane. Now, we get this wind out here a lot. I've noticed it when I drive. I think it's a bit of a weird design in the i3, because the i3 is a big soap bubble, and I think it exactly pulls the glass, and so it makes this whistling noise. Probably the most frustrating part of the trip. Now, I am going to stop right here in Ellensburg, actually, and charge up. So let's get out of here and juice up and charge up. I'm down to like 15 and 33, and my next stop is going to be Cleelum, which doesn't, the fast charger there was busy, and it's I think half the rate of this one, so forget it. Let's charge here, and I think that'll be enough juice to go all the way. But we'll find out. Oh, there. I'm down lower. The wind is instantly gone. Oh, so much quieter. All right, here we go. Let's charge up. I stand completely corrected. Taco Bell has donuts. They're little donut holes that are stuffed with cream from Cinnabon, apparently. And I hate myself for eating an entire bag. So we're charging here. We are now at 79%. Again, this is super fast. I've been here 8 minutes. I love these high-speed chargers. So this is interesting because it makes a point. If you stop at a lower speed charger, apparently the chargers over at Cleelum, where I tried to stop initially, are about half the speed. You're gonna be better off driving further to charge faster, almost in every case, or charging earlier and charging faster, which is what I'm doing here. Ellensburg is not in the middle of my drive, but this, if I stop here, I get in and out way faster. So what I got right now, full tank of gas, that's 62 miles of range, and I'm just now hitting 80%, and it's telling me that's 41, so that's 100 miles. That's basically back home all the way without having to stop, depending on efficiency. So I'm wondering if, because I still got to climb up Indian John Hill, but I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to get enough juice coming down where I don't have to stop again. We will see whether that works or not. I may need to stop for gas. The last time, I think the small tank on this is the painful part, but we'll see if we can make it again. So here we go. I'm just 81%. I might wait just a little bit longer and pump just a little more electricity in here since I'm here and it's filling up so fast. But then we'll get back on the road. All right, back in a bit. All right, so here's the update. At this point, I've gone past Indian John Hill and Roslyn, and so we've got just under 70 miles to go, and my range indicator is back up to 91. It was below range for a while, and then it's come back up, partially because I've gone over down the backside of the hill for Indian John Hill, and I'm on the flats right now. I think we'll make it back. I think what we need to figure out at this point is what's going to cost is a small hill to rise up that I got to go, and then I go all the way down Snoqualmie. I think once we are down Snoqualmie, I'm going to gain a bunch of range, and that'll be it. So now things are actually really good. So the Ellensburg charge up does seem to be the way to go, and I think I could probably even hit it on the way out there. It's at like 100 and something miles, and the supposed range is like 150 of this thing. But I noticed that Snoqualmie Pass going up, it eats the miles like crazy. So maybe next time I come out and do this thing, we'll try that one and see how close we can get. But there we go. So it's still going. We'll see how the range goes on the way back, and check it out. Be back in a bit. Okay, and here we go. So at this point, we are 40 miles from home, and I actually have a 46-mile electric range, plus 22 miles on gas, so we do not need to stop. So yeah, it is totally possible to go from Ellensburg on not even a full charge, but an 80% charge and a full tank of gas in the i3 and get home back to Seattle. The interesting thing is that I'm actually still going downhill. So I'm at 39 miles and I still have 46 miles. So my range is staying really stable. And I'm going 71 miles an hour. I'm basically just rolling downhill, generating electricity. Oh, I dropped to 45, okay. But I think it looks like the miles consumed are now dropping slower significantly than the miles we're actually going. So hooray! So that's probably gonna make life a lot easier. So then that did tell me that I only need one stop. Basically, if I'm full up on gas when I leave the desert house, drive, do one stop to charge and fill, and I can make it the rest of the way. And that is kind of what I did on the way over, although I did one stop for gas and then one stop for charge. So you just need one to combine one and you should be good. And that is pretty accurate for the 150 mile combined range for the i3. So I'll drive a little further, we'll see how this is, and check in again. But good so far. The test is working the way I want. We really do get a lot of range back once you're going downhill, and those estimates, though they aren't accurate when you're going uphill, because they don't know how long you're going to be doing it, they balance out on the far end. So it's working so far. All right, check in again. All right, well, we're back, and that was actually a pretty good experiment. I ended up with 11 miles remaining on both the gas and the battery by the time we were done. So I think overall, the hard thing to figure out when taking the i3 long distance like this is going to end up being, can you refill both the fewest amount of times? It certainly worked. You could just run on gas the whole time, I think. And so long as you don't hit huge hills, I think the 4% grade coming up out of Vantage is the killer, because the system won't keep up with something that's that steep. At least trying to, I think I was going 68 miles an hour, so I wasn't even speeding or going too fast. But that's going to be the hard part. So with that in mind, that's how it looked. That was the drive. I'll definitely be doing that again. I'll definitely, I think, be planning as few times as possible to stop. But I'll do a couple more videos later on the i3 and some other car stuff, and we'll see how else we can learn to use this kind of hybrid system for longer drives. Anyways, thanks a lot.